Hi there. Good to see you all. Welcome to my Monday night class. So this is a strong class. We'll be practicing some crows. We'll be doing some warriors. We'll be working quite fast, but I'll give you easy options. And I think it would be great if you had something to sit on. And in fact, we'll use this to put the foot on, and we'll use it to hold between our hands as well. Yeah, it's a useful thing. If you don't have a block, it is a useful thing. I don't encourage, loads of, excessive buying of kit, but this thing I use a lot, and I'm happy to have it. Yeah, get something that would be a substitute. So you could use a cushion for something to sit on, or a bit of Tupperware for when you're lifting overhead. So yeah, get your whatever it is you're going to use as a substitute, and then come to a comfortable seated position. So yeah, just take a little seat on your mat. We'll start with our hands down on the legs. Close your eyes, or simply lower your gaze. Relax your face. And just notice how you're feeling. Such a simple thing, but we don't do it. We don't always do it. We often ignore how we're feeling. And in fact, in the Yoga Sutras, it's really important, this concept of self-reflection, and for that to not be laced with judgment. So noticing without judgment. We're going to listen to the breath as well. And ideally, unless you've got a cold or you're suffering hay fever, breathing in and out through the nose. A deep in-breath, a slow out-breath. And what do we mean by a deep in-breath? In fact, this pertains to the lower ribs, so we're wanting a sense of the ribs expanding, the lower ribs expanding as we take a breath in. To do a little gentle warm up for the thighs and the hips. So put your block to one side. We're going to take the right leg out so the foot comes behind us. It's quite tricky to have that even weightiness through the sitting bones, but can you sort of rearrange yourself so you can sit evenly? And if that's not happening, sit on something. Find your upright position in the spine. So if you found that you've tipped forward a little bit, can you sit back up again? Crown of the head lifted. We're going to slide the left hand away, so we're supporting ourselves a little bit. We're going to reach for the right foot and press in. You might, I think, need to lean in a little bit to this left hand. Press the right foot in. So it's, maybe quite intense. So if you're finding that very strong in the thigh and maybe jarring in the knee, then ease off. But for some of you, that's going to be, quite comfortable. So maybe you want to go a little stronger by lifting the knee, taking it back behind you. And just being aware of how this is affecting your upper body. Perhaps there's a little tension creeping in the shoulders. So can you kind of relax them down? And you can also press this thigh forward. It doesn't have to be an actual movement, but more of an internal movement. So not a dynamic sort of external movement, but an internal pressing forward. And the pubic bone too. We're going to come out. So release the foot, take it back to centre. We'll go the other way. So the left foot comes behind you. And again, if you're needing to put something underneath the left side so that you feel even, so that you're not sort of falling out of alignment, so you want to just sit up for a moment. Reconnect with your breath. And now let's take this right hand, press it to the floor, lean in a little. So then it's a bit easier to grab that left foot. Notice if that's creating tension in the shoulders. Can you sort of soften? We want to have a firm grasp, but not so that the shoulders seize up. We're pressing the foot into the buttock. That's quite strong, but you might enjoy taking the knee back a bit to have more intensity. So you could lift the knee, take it back. You might enjoy pressing the thigh forward, and even a feeling of the hip and the pubic bone moving forward a little bit. It's more of an internal movement than an actual sort of outward movement. So one more breath here. And then release. We're taking the feet together. We're just holding the feet gently. You can press a little bit into the little toe edge of the foot, and that can feel really satisfying on the inside thigh and the groin area. You can get a sense of opening. And perhaps leading in a little bit the elbows onto the legs. Reconnect with your breath. And then we're going to come up. We're going to take a all fours position. Put your block to the front of your mat. You'll use that in a moment. So, shoulders over wrists, knees over, hips over knees. Just round the back a little. Let the head drop. Little tone on the belly as you do that. Breathe into the back body. So can you sense the ribs expanding at the back as you breathe in? And then we're going to lift the head and chest. Keep pressing quite firmly into the hands. Lift the head and chest. Maybe keep a tone on the belly so you don't over dip, over arch in the lower back. Stretch the chest forward. Press into the feet so you're not losing connection through the feet, through the lower body. Back to neutral position. Tuck your toes under, take your bum back towards your heels, extend through your hands, arms, spread the fingers, pressing down and away through the hands, lifting into downward dog. We're going to reconnect with the breath and bring some movement into that. So bend the right knee, breathe in. You can bring your right ribs onto the knee. Bend the left knee, breathe out. Maybe left ribs onto the knee. We'll do that again. Bend the right knee, breathe in. Press the ribs down onto the knee. Bend left knee, breathe out. Once again. Right knee, breathe in. Left knee, breathe out. We're going to lift the right foot behind us. So three-legged dog. And then stepping forward into a lunge. So the foot between the hands. So it's probably, maybe your first lunge of the day. So let's keep it a little bit gentle. You can bring the weight, fully drop the weight onto the thigh. If you've overextended and need to bring the back knee in, you can. Just pausing here to get that sense of yourself, how you're feeling. And then maybe you're going to enjoy something a little stronger, so you can lift the back knee, slide the foot away, push out gently through the heel. And if that's perhaps enough for you, but if you want even more intensity, lighten the weight into the fingers. So the very little weight into the hands now, more strength on the leg, front leg. Hold that for a moment. And then we're going to step back. So coming back into a downward dog. Reconnect with your breath. Bend the right knee, breathe in. Bend the left knee, breathe out. Right knee, breathe in. Left knee, breathe out. Once more. And then we're taking the left foot away behind us. A three-legged dog. Just notice your toes. We do want to keep the toes pointing down. It's not a rotation of the hip that we're going for. It's down. We're going to take that foot and step it forward. So coming back into lunge on the left side. So yeah, probably, maybe your first lunge of the day. So let's not overdo it. You can bring the knee in, back knee if you need to. Pausing here, let the weight drop if you can onto the thigh. Reconnect with your breath. And then maybe, if you want, slide the back foot away. That goes into something a bit stronger. You could even lift the back knee. These are just options. You can lighten the weight into the fingertips so there's more weight onto the front leg, so that feels a bit stronger in the hips. Enjoy this moment. And then we're going to step into downward dog. When you're ready, take that foot back. Reconnect with your breath again, bend the right knee. Breathe in. Left knee, breathe out. Right knee, breathe in. Left knee, breathe out. We're taking the right foot up and away again. Three-legged dog. We're stepping forward again into lunge, so right foot between the hands. We're going to come up this time, so swing your hands back behind you and very smoothly, slowly come up to standing, hands overhead. Let's just hold this position for a moment. If you need to sort of check in with your front knee so that the knee's nicely positioned over the ankle and not moving forward. Squeeze your inner thighs, so get a sense of sort of containing the pose through the legs, so really sort of pressing in. And press back into the back toes as well. And then we're going to bring our arm back and behind, interlace the fingers, plunge your hands down. And this should give you a sense of the shoulders moving down away from your ears. Should feel good. Stretch across the chest. Breathe into those lower ribs. Just make a little note which hand is on top, which thumb is on top. We'll reverse that in a moment when we go to the other side. Can you lighten the weight into the front toes? So lift the toes, spread them, and then bring them down. Maybe do that again. And then releasing the hands, coming all the way down, back to downward dog. Connect with your breath again. And then the left foot, so we're swinging that left foot back. Toes don't turn out, toes point down. Stepping forward into lunge. And we're going to come up. So swing the hands back towards your hips and smoothly, gently moving up. The hands can come up overhead. Check in with your front knee. You don't want that knee moving in or out. You want to try and keep it very stable, ideally above the ankle. And let's feel, really powerful in the lower body. So a little squeeze of the inner thighs, help strengthen the legs, strengthen your stability. Press back into the back foot, and then hands coming back behind you. Ideally, clasp the hands so that the opposite thumb is on top. And then we're going to plunge down with the knuckles, and that should feel good. Feeling of the shoulders moving away. Squeeze the shoulder blades in. Enjoy this moment. Feel your power through the thighs. You can squeeze the buttocks in as well. Little tone on the belly, but soft in the face. Well done. So we're going to place the hands down, lift the back foot up, and this time we'll just step forward. So we're in a forward bend, so probably good to have the knees a little bit bent here, and very firmly plant your hands to the floor so that you can actually maybe even shift weight a little into the hands and then back to the feet. If that feels okay, then perhaps take it a little stronger, a little more weight into the hands, a little less weight into the feet, lift the heels even. Do that a couple of times. And then we're bending the knees. We're going to drop into a squat. At this point, you might be glad of your block. If your hips and knees are really sore, you don't get on with squats, that's an option for you. Otherwise, just hang out in your squat for a moment, and ideally we're wanting to feel the lower back relaxing down. So just let that happen. The heels stretching down. And then can we have a little go at squeezing the outer arm with the knee? So you're feeling a little work for the inner thighs. If you can't do both knees together, do one knee at a time. Squeeze and then release, and then on the other side, squeeze and release. Maybe lift your bum, see how that feels, and then see if you can get a feeling of tipping weight into the hands. Slightly, yeah. A little bit of a challenge there. Some of you will be very happy in a crow, so if you do want to hop up into a full crow or just lift one foot, go for it. And then we're just going to step back into downward dog. We're going to lift the right foot behind us, step forward, coming into lunge. But this time we'll take a twist in the lunge, so we're lifting the right hand. Press down with the left hand. Turn to the other side so you can see me better. Press down with the left hand so you can lift the right hand. Breathe into the back body, breathe into the lower ribs. And then we're going to lift that back foot. We're going to turn on the little toe edge of the back foot. We're going to see if we can shuffle this front foot back. So there we are in a side plank. Maybe the arm can come over the ear. Keep pressing into the little toe of the back foot and keep squeezing the thighs together and lift the hip. Keep reaching with the hand. Well done. We're going to come down. We're going to see if we can step the foot back. We're just going to come all the way up. Hands up overhead. Oh, and this, sorry, I forgot. This is where we're going to use the block. So take the block and lift it up and overhead. So we've sort of focused quite a bit on the inner thigh, but can we give some extra engagement or bring some extra engagement into the arms? So you're lifting overhead and very much squeezing the block through your hands. Feel that sort of ripple of energy into the arms as you do that. And breathe. And if your shoulders are a little strained here, then bend them a little bit and try and soften the tops of the shoulders down. And we definitely don't want loads of sort of tension creeping into the shoulders. So we want that uplift without the upsurge of tension. And then we're going to come all the way down. So bring the block down. Step back to downward dog. Lift the left foot. And step it forward. So we're taking a twist. So the right hand down, the left hand lifted. So mindful of people with sore shoulders here. If you're finding that lifting that top arm is creating tension, then maybe just bring a little bend into the arm. And another thing you could do is simply take a big bend and perhaps have the hand behind the head. That can make it a little more comfortable. Keep pressing down with the bottom hand. Then we're going to lift the back knee. We're going to roll onto the little toe edge of the back foot. We're going to slide this front foot back. Breathing. So here we are in a side plank. Squeeze the thighs together. Lift the hips if you can. Press down through that little toe edge, and maybe you can create a line from the back foot into the hand, left hand. Breathing. Well done. Bring both hands down. We're going to step that foot back to the front of the mat. We're going to take the block. We're going to lift up nice and smooth and slow. So we've got the inner thighs working. Can you sort of activate a little more the arms with this firm inward pressure through the hands? Enliven the whole of the arm. if that's creating tension in the shoulders, then have the lift, but perhaps bend the elbows a tiny bit. Keep breathing. Lighten the weight into that front foot, maybe by lifting the toes, spreading them, bring them down, so that you're not gripping too much with the toes. Well done. Come down. Hands a block, resting. Hands either side of the foot. Step back to downward dog. Let the head drop. Reconnect with your breath. Bending the left knee, breathe in. Bending the right knee, breathe out. Bend the left knee, breathe in. Bend the right knee, breathe out. And then we're going to lift the right foot. We're going to step it forward. We're going to bring the back knee down. So we're going to go for a little bit stronger lunge, side plank version here. So let's just loop our thumb and middle finger, forefinger around the big toe. Perhaps you want to bring the back knee in so that you're not overextended. We're going to see if we can just lift the foot with the hand. So you need to very firm pressure into the left hand. Just have a go at lifting the foot. And then if that feels okay, have a go at taking the foot out to the side. It's fine to have the leg bent, but maybe you can straighten up. Brilliant. So bring the foot down. Let's just see if we can do something a little stronger. So we're keeping the grip on the big toe. We're rolling onto the little toe edge. We're going to lift that foot and see if we can come into a tree shape with the legs. So, and then the other hand can come up. Activate the inner thigh, so we can push back into the foot, lift the hips, press into the little toe edge. Keep breathing. And then can we come out with control, loop around the big toe, step back. Bring the knee down. Step back into downward dog. Let's reconnect with the breath again here. Bend the right knee, breathe out. Bend the left knee, breathe in. Right knee, breathe out. Left knee, breathe in. We're lifting the left foot. We're going to step it forward. So we're going to loop our thumb, forefinger around the big toe again. Let's just see where we can go with this. So you'll need to put quite firm weight into that right hand to stabilise you. And then just see if we can lift the foot. Remember, if you need to bring the back knee in, it does make a big difference actually not having the knee too far away. Have a little go, lifting, might just be a tiny bit, or maybe you can come up very comfortably and take it out to the side. Well done. Quite strong. Bring the foot down. So we'll go for something a little bit more challenging. And if you need to come back to the easy option, that's fine. Just stay at the easy option. So we're lifting the back knee. We're going to roll onto the little toe edge of the foot, off the back foot, which is the right foot. We're going to grip that big toe again. And we're going to just see if we can lift it so that the foot comes up into the, we're taking a tree shape, so the foot comes up into the inside thigh. And it may be that you can only do this for a moment, so don't worry. But maybe you can come, up with the hand. If you need to sort of collapse down into a supported side plank, that's fine. The foot could come down as well. That would also be fine. Engage your inner thighs, lift your hips, press into the little toe edge. And then if you are still in the tree, we're going to control, with control, step the foot back. And come down. Pause for a moment. Back to downward dog. We're walking the feet forward towards the front of the mat. Let's really flatten the hands against the floor so there's plenty of weight coming now into the hands. Lift the heels and shift the weight. Do that a couple of times. And then you can drop into your crow. And if you need more gentle, not you could bring your bum right down onto the block. Or there's options for gentler if you need them. You can simply just rest in a squat, or you could work a little bit harder by bringing the knees into the outside of the arms, squeezing them, engage your inner thighs, shift the weight into the hands, so lift your heels. Maybe lift one foot, maybe lift the other foot. And then drop back into your squat. Bring the heels down, lift the bum. Swing your hands back to the hips. Coming up into squatting position. We'll just hold that squat for a moment. You might need to bring your knees together, but it's okay to have the knees a little bit wide. I quite like the knees together because then I get the energy of squeezing in, feeling the legs pressed together. And if it's easy for you, perhaps dropping lower, keep breathing, feel the burn in the thighs, but keep that cooling in breath. And then coming up, so bring the hands into the heart and resting in a standing position. We'll do a little balancing sequence. We're lifting the right heel. Transition the weight into the left leg. Make that left leg solid, but not straining. So maybe it's helpful to sort of lift the toes and lower them so that the weight is solidly into that left foot, but not so that you're feeling like the toes are all scrunched up uncomfortably. So there's lightness and weight into the foot. And then when you're ready, let the foot float up. And it might be that you don't go very high. If you're feeling very unsteady, use a wall. Then just cross that leg over the opposite leg. Drop back into a squat again. Garudasana legs, eagle legs. And there's the option of doing a cross of the arms as well. So you can take your right arm, cross it under the left, maybe dropping lower. Keep breathing. We're going to come out, if possible, with loads of control, but so keep the hands as they are. You're going to lift the top leg. With control, you're floating it back, maybe coming into like a sort of balancing pose as you do this. If you're not feeling so confident with balances, then you're going to stay more upright and then pressing down with the back foot. We're keeping the heel lifted for now. Slide that foot away if you're comfortable to. If you're feeling very unsteady, maybe foot closer in. But if possible, slide the foot away and straighten the leg. So there's a lot of energy in that back leg. A little bend in the knee, dropping down. So 2 or 3 of those movements, up and down. Don't try to keep the front knee stable. Don't let the knee travel beyond the ankle. So above the ankle or behind. And then we're going to step back into eagle. So if you're feeling you're overextended, then perhaps do that, do a little hop in with the leg before you come up into balance. So we're just, the toes point down, by the way, as you come into this balance. And then with control, stepping back so that the right leg crosses over the left. dropping the bum, if you can, belly pulls in. And then standing, come to standing, uncross the legs. With control, bring the foot down, uncross the arms. And take your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Let the weight recalibrate so that you've got the even weight into the feet again. I'm just turning around so I can see you. You can stay as you are. Crown of the head is lifted, so that means you're not letting the head sink forward. We're going to do the other side. So taking the weight over to the right foot, so that's feeling of shifting weight, and then lifting the left heel. So we want to feel powerful in that right leg, so it's really going to support us, but not all scrunched up. So let's lift the toes for a moment on the right side, spread them and then bring them down. And also lifting out of the hip, so you're not kind of dumping everything into this right hip. And then lifting the foot. It. I'm just going to turn so that I can, or you can see me. So I'm crossing that left leg over the right. Garudasana or eagle. Belly pulls back. Drop the hips. And then there's the option of doing the arms here. So we've got left leg on top. We can bring the left arm underneath. If you think your toes are all scrunched up on the standing leg, can you lift them again and spread them out a little bit? Keep breathing. You're doing brilliant. Very good stamina, this. We're going to come out into the balance. So uncross the leg and just floating it back. Keep the arms as they are if you can. Toes point down. It's fine if you're just doing a very mini balance. So if the foot's just skirting the floor, that's fine. And then stepping back. So we're keeping the heel lifted. We're going to have the right leg bent, the back leg straight. And then a little dip with the knee up and down. So you feel the power in the back leg. Not too much going on in the front leg though. Front knees not moving about, it's the leg, back of the leg doing the work. And then we're going to step up and back to the Garudasana. So if you feel like you've overextended, hop the back foot in. Step up into your balance. Toes point down on the flying leg. With control, bringing the foot forward and crossing it over back to your Garudasana. Hold that for a breath. And then when you're ready, uncross. Bring the foot down. Recalibrate so that the legs even weight back into the legs, and then release your hands. Relax your face. We're going to take a forward bend. So I'd advise a bend in the legs as you come down. Let the hands come back to the floor. Press down firmly through the hands. You can shift your weight a little bit, just as we did earlier. We're going to step the left foot back, and we're going to do something a little stronger for the hips. So let's take this block that we had, or a book would be a substitute, or you could even bring it onto a cushion. So just bring the foot right onto that block. Hands to the big toe edge of the foot, and let's see if we can drop a weight a little into the hip, a little stronger into the hip. Maybe even coming lower. So you can stay on the hands. Some of you might enjoy sort of coming onto the forearms. And then perhaps if you want a stronger version of this, the foot slides back, the back foot slides away, or lift the knee. Just options, not necessarily better, but just a little different. And then it's nice to have a go at bringing that thigh into it, and then maybe practicing the crow a little bit, or the shape that we make in crow. So really squeeze the outer edge of the arm with that right knee. I'm just going to turn around so you can see what this looks like. And then can you lift the heel off the right leg? Keep squeezing the arm and maybe lift the foot completely. So there we are in sort of half a crow. So in a way, I think it's harder than the full crow. You're going to step back to plank and then to downward dog. I'm going to step the left foot forward, so opposite foot forward. I'm going to move around so that I can see you. And we're putting the foot onto the block. The hands, arms into the inside of the thigh, leg. Just pausing here. Reconnect with your breath. Relax your face as you do that. Perhaps you want to go into something stronger, lifting the back knee or even sliding the back foot away. So that's more stretching the body. And we're going to add in some strength. So bring the back knee down for now. Squeeze that knee into the thigh. Sorry, knee into the arm. Lift the heel. And then can you even take the foot up? So it's helpful to keep the squeeze going. It's not a relaxed pose. It does call for a lot of power in the thighs. Some of you might lift the back knee as well. There you go, half a crow. Breathing. And then step back into your plank. And we're going to come to resting position. So you could do child pose. So bum back towards your heels. You can use your block to support the head. If you're not in the mood to bring your head down, then come back into just sitting on your heels. Breathing. Listen to your breath. Notice how you're feeling. It's that awareness of, the whole body, as well as any sort of emotional, mental things that come up that we're trying to develop in yoga, so that we have that sense of awareness in every cell. Awareness without judgment. So, which is, so difficult, perhaps more difficult than any of the physical strength we're called to develop. It's more the mental strength, I think, in yoga. So you're going to come up back onto all fours. We're going to just practice one last little side plank or Vajrasana. So come back to all fours. Tuck your toes under into downward dog. We're going to step let's do something different. Step the left foot forward. We're lifting the left arm, pressing down through the right hand. So we're in a twist, and then we're going to turn on the back foot. So we're coming into more of a side plank. We're shuffling the foot back a little bit. So there we are, supported in our side plank. You can bring the foot right back. We're going to loop around the big toe, see if we can bring the foot up into the inside thigh. Hold that. Squeeze your thighs, the bottom thigh up to support you, lift the hips. I'm conscious my head's falling off to the side, that's not ideal. You do want to sort of keep the line of the spine. And maybe you can one day or today have a go at extending the foot. So you're looping the hand around the foot and lifting up. And then we're going to come down, we're not hang about. So step back to the floor with the foot, hands come down, and stepping back to downward dog. Keep breathing. Drop the head. We'll do the other side in a moment. So lift the right foot, step it forward. I'm just going to turn around. So we're going to be in a twist first of all, so lift the right hand. Want to feel that the movement of that twist is more above the waist. So squeeze the right buttock in, squeeze the right thigh in. So there's not much going on in terms of movement in the legs. The hips are very contained, so the movement is more for the upper back. If you're finding that a bit straining on the shoulders, just bend the arms. Maybe the head can come behind the hand, can come behind the head. We're rolling on the little toe edge of the back foot. We're taking that right foot back. So you can come right back, depending on how your hips feel. Or you can have it more closer to the hand. And then, so this may be where you want to stay here if you're tired. Or you can reach for the big toes, step it up into a little tree shape. And that's, again, you can stay there or perhaps go for, or have a go at lifting the top foot, which is quite hard work. And then we're going to, with control, and this is really helpful to sort of really work slowly with control to come back down. And we're going to step back into a plank, bring the knees down, come back onto your heels. And let's pause here. Palms up, listening to the breath, so sensing the shape of the breath in the body. And any body parts that call your attention at the moment. I'm definitely feeling it on the arms, shoulders. Enjoy the sense of flow down the hands as you know, there's a lot of sensation, no doubt, left. But imprint of what we've just done in the body. So just being aware of that. I'm conscious that worked you quite hard in the upper body, so we're going to use the block now to help you come into a bit of a back arch. If you had a bolster, you could use a bolster. You could use a rolled up blanket as well. What you want, whatever it is you're going to use, you want for it to be firm. So if you're using a blanket, you know, not rolling it tightly so it's firm, so it's going to support you and not sort of collapse under your weight. So this is going to come, whether you're using a block or a blanket, it's going to come at the back of the body, around the back of the heart, or the bra strap if you're wearing a bra. So, if you're very you know, bendy, you might find that you really enjoy something quite a bit bigger. So sometimes, you know, some people will use a rolled up blanket on a block, or this, which is, as you can see, it's quite chunky. So yeah, these are all options. If you're in doubt, go for the smaller item. So it would be good as well to have something in your hands, or visualize something in your hands. So we're going to come down. So I'm going to use the bolster because I love that. Keep the knees bent. We're going to sort of stretch out the vertebrae, so you could round your back a tiny bit as you come down, so you've got a sense of making space between the vertebrae, and then bringing your back down over, or the back of the heart down over the structure, the blanket, the block, whatever it is. The hands are going to come behind the head, so you're very much supporting the head. Don't let go of the head. We want to, you know, for the head to feel comfortable, relaxed, so there's no tension in the neck. So we're opening the chest, opening the armpits. You can stretch your elbows out to the side, as though you're going to press them into the wall either side. Make time to breathe into those lower ribs, and that will help open things up as well. And then some of you, if you feel like there's a very uncomfortable distance for your head to drop back, you can bring something under the head. So an extra cushion or block. But for now, maybe keep it supporty, because you might surprise yourself. You might find that as you relax, as the back opens, then, you know, the head is happy to come lower. I do come up and down a couple of times. So then, and this is where it might be really nice to have something in the hands. You're going to reach away with your hands. So I've got a block between my palms, as we did earlier from a lunge position, just to activate the arms a little bit more. If your shoulders are feeling tight and sore, then you can still extend through the hands, but maybe just keep some softness at the elbows. And then perhaps reaching away with the feet as well, so straightening the legs if your back's okay with that. So it's as though you're being almost like you're on a rack, being pulled in two directions. Feet drawing you one direction, arms, hands taking you the other way. And then we are going to just relax completely. So drop the block if you're holding it, let the hands come down. You might feel you're more relaxed with the arms at shoulder height rather than overhead. Let the feet flop, disengage. And in a moment we will come out. So to come up, bend your knees first. And I like to walk my feet a bit wider, so that there's more foundation, more sort of stronger foundation. And then you can press into the floor with your hands and slowly lift the head. Coming up. And then we will take Shavasana. So if you're using a bolster, it's lovely to bring the bolster under the knees as an alternative to under the back. but maybe you're happier flat, lying flat, or even legs on a chair is very good, because it's calming to have the legs lifted. Immediately your nervous system just goes more easily into the sort of relax, rest, digest phase. So yeah, take your time to come down. You might want something under the head. If you feel like your head's rolling back, then put something under the head, blanket, cushion, and then come to resting. So it is Shavasana, as you know, is a sort of letting go. It's very much the counter pose to what we do on this Monday night class, where we kind of, it's quite fast and lots of strength poses. So all the more important to completely relax your body, commit it to rest. So nothing to do here. Nothing to prove. Let the head and torso be heavy. Let the arms and legs be heavy. I'm just noticing the inner life of the body. Let the breath flow easy. Let the mind rest. When thoughts come up, just very gently, firmly put them to one side. They'll come. You can come back to them later. Notice your body breathing. Keep softening. Softening the jaw, the cheeks, the tongue, the belly, throat, hips. Maybe as as you drop the weight of your body, there comes a sense of lightness. Feeling of space. Enjoy this sensation. So, I'm going to allow you to rest for a little longer and end the video. So, just spend a few more breaths, well, or longer even, relaxing, softening. Allowing yourself to be absorbed in the rhythms of the body and the breath, melting into those. Namaste.